I'm Maltop and I'm the new head instructor here at SPURS Therapeutic Riding Center, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about why we could use a lift in our program. So there's 4 major reasons that we need a lift, and number 1 would be the safety of the horse. So when we're mounting a completely physically disabled rider onto a horse from a ramp, we can't physically possibly lift the student up and set them down on the horse. So we have to kind of shimmy them on, and doing this can end up tweaking the horse's back a lot. The horse has to really brace themselves against the movement of this 150 to 200 pound rider. And the same thing happens on the dismount. On the way to the ground, the horse really has to brace and the student is leaning on them constantly, and that tweaks the horse's back a lot. So a lift will help just lift the student up and set them down perfectly square on the horse's back, and then same with the dismount so that there's no tweaking happening. And the next reason is the safety of the rider. So in a mount, a horse could always move, and if this is happening while the student is suspended over the horse, there's a very good chance we could drop the rider onto the ground. So with a lift, if the horse feels they need to move out of a situation, if they spook or something, the student is just suspended in the air in a safe lift, and we can then move the horse back under them. There is no risk in dropping the student, and the same thing happens with the dismount. So they'll just suspend over the horse and then move back onto the ramp. There's no risk in dropping them. So the next reason is the safety of the instructors and the volunteers. So these riders are fairly heavy and have trouble bearing their own weight, and so then we end up doing it. And there's always a risk in hurting yourself when you're lifting that kind of weight away from your body, which we have to in this case. So I know many people have tweaked their own backs doing this and stuff, so that will definitely take all that away. And our final reason is the dignity of the rider. So in this situation, the rider becomes very self-conscious about how much they weigh and what they're doing to these people on this horse. When they can see that 5 people are stressing about getting them on and struggling to lift them, they become very self-conscious. And that kind of sets them up for a poorer ride when they have to think about that all the time. Where in the case of a lift, no one has to work too hard. We just set them down and go. So yeah, we're not satisfied with the way we're mounting right now, and we can't wait to get a lift for our program.